Now we're getting to some more exciting problems. And what we're going to do here is we need to figure out 6 to what power is 1 over 36. Now we know that 6 to the second power is 36. Now the problem is, how do we get it to the bottom? Well, think about it. Wouldn't 6 to the negative 2, wouldn't that bring us down to the bottom as 6 squared, and then that would be 1 over 36? So here we have actually a negative exponent. That's how we get the value onto the bottom. I like this next example. It's the same idea. We're just going to go a little bit backwards from it. So 1/5 to what power is 5? Well, if we were somehow able to flip this fraction, to make it 5 over 1, well, how do we flip the fraction? Well, let's just let our exponent be negative 1. How does that work? Because 1 over 5 to the negative 1, that would end up just flipping the inside to give you 5 over 1 to the positive 1, which would be 5, giving us our answer there. A little more difficult now here. So this, we got a fraction, so we know that our power has to be negative. It's 81 to what power is 1/3. So we know that our y is going to be negative. Now, how do we get an 81 to become a third? Well, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to take a root. Well, what kind of root? Well, the fourth root. Remember, 3 to the fourth power is 81. Now we're going backwards. We're trying to get our 81 to become a 3. So what we're going to actually do is we need to take the fourth root of 81. In other words, we need 81 to be to the 1/4. But we want it to drop to the bottom, so what our answer will be, our y will be 81 to the negative 1/4, because that's what's going to put it on the bottom as 1 over 81 to the 1/4, which would be 1 over 3, which is what we want. So our exponent would have to be negative 1/4 in order for it to drop to the bottom and then take the fourth root to get the 3. So our exponent, let me write that answer in, is negative 1/4. Last one, this is probably the most difficult one. 4 to what power is 8? Some of us immediately are just going to jump up if this was in class and say 2, because you're thinking 4 times 2 is 8. But no, remember, it's 4 to what power is 8. Now remember, 4 squared is 16, right? But that doesn't really help us. What about 4 to the third power? Isn't 4 to the third power going to be 64? And the square root, if we can square root the 64, there's just a way we can square root that 64, then boom, we would have the 8. Well, yeah, we could square root it by putting a denominator in our fraction of 2, because remember, it's power over index. So if we were to take the square root of 64, that would give us the 8. So our power would be 3 over 2. Why 3 over 2? So once again, the 3 on the top is cubing the 4 to get us the 64. The 2 on the bottom is square rooting that 64 to then give us the 8 that we need.